Welcome to the audio version of our Daily Coach newsletter, a reading of some of our greatest hits from more than 6 years of email newsletters that have been read by tens of thousands of leaders and learners. If you want our latest newsletter delivered to your inbox every day, you can subscribe for free at thedaily.coach/subscribe or follow the link in the description. Hofstadter's Law. It started with a simple question for a young student in Taiwan. Can a computer beat the greatest chess player in a match? In 1985, when Feng Shu enrolled in the graduate program at Carnegie Mellon University, he had a strong curiosity about artificial intelligence, specifically relating to computer chess. With a few fellow students who shared his passion, Feng Shu created an account on the famous Berkeley machine, using Fred Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, a co-resident in Pittsburgh, as the user. For the next 2 weeks, these accounts expanded all over the ARPANET, eventually having almost 10 computer accounts at top US universities. When a system manager at Purdue noticed the Rogers account, tracing it back to Carnegie Mellon, Feng Shu was busted. This minor setback didn't deter him or his teammates in answering the question. Their first rendition was called Chip Test, using a technology move generator chip capable of searching 50,000 moves per second. Then came Chip Test M, which ran much faster and had an expanded search capability of 500,000 moves per second. In 1988, Deep Thought was created, and once again with a faster processor, able to search 720,000 moves per second. In 1989, it was renamed Deep Blue, with unlimited possibilities from the opening moves to the endgames. Finally, in 1997, after doubling its initial speed and thought process, Deep Blue was able to beat Garry Kasparov. It took 12 long years of hard work, mistakes, setbacks, and disappointments to finally answer the question. Well before Feng Shu came to America, Douglas Hofstadter, an American scholar and cognitive scientist, introduced a law with regard to the advancement of chess-playing computers. Hofstadter wrote, "In the early days of computer chess, people used to estimate that it would be 10 years until a computer or program was world champion. But after 10 years had passed, it seemed that the day a computer would become world champion was still more than 10 years away." This is just one more piece of evidence for the rather recursive Hofstadter's Law. Hofstadter's Law is defined as, it always takes longer than you expect, even when you take into account Hofstadter's Law. Hofstadter wasn't referring to simple problems or hard challenges. He was referring to complex problems and projects that we place a timeline on that never seems to be realistic. Hofstadter says, "We chronically underestimate the time things take. That's why the Sydney Opera House opened 10 years later than scheduled, and why the new Wembley Stadium didn't open in 2003, 2005, or 2006, each of which had been at various points the predicted completion date. It's also why the list makers among us get up each day and make to-do lists that by the same evening will seem laughable and even insane." We all should incorporate this law into our daily life. Anything of substance in our life takes time. We need to accept it will take longer. Once we accept it takes longer than we thought, our dedication to the work will improve. When the deadline becomes more important than the work, we'll fall short. Hofstadter's Law reminds us to keep pushing ahead, understanding time is on our side. What matters most is our best work, not meeting a deadline. Thanks for joining this episode of The Daily Coach. On behalf of Michael Lombardi, Coach George Raveling, and the entire Daily Coach team, we're grateful for your support. Remember, the most important person you will ever lead is yourself. Keep growing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep showing up.